happiness has been here all the day. Ojo ìfẹ́ rọ̀lẹ́ mi o, ara mi wà lọ́nà. Ojo ìfẹ́ rọ̀lẹ́ mi o, ara mi wà lọ́nà. It was a silent night. Find someone to love. Maybe someday I will find my own.
Hello everyone out there, and it's a blessed day here in ABN Television on Marri String. I remain your host, Mumi Alabi, and this week we will be talking on the topic communication. But before I proceed on that, let's take a short break. I'll be right back.
African Broadcasting Network. African Broadcasting Network. It's all about Africa. It's all about motherland. Celebrating rich cultural heritage. ABN, we bring the best. It's Africa. Broadcasting Network. African Broadcasting Network. ABN, celebrating Africa's rich cultural heritage.
I have with me wonderful couple, wonderful guests in the house, Mr. and Mrs. Goke and Mokbe Idowu from Houston, Texas. And this week, we will be talking about the power of communication in marriage, the kinds of communication we have, and how far communication can go in marriage. Mr. and Mrs. Goke and Mokbe Idowu, they've been married for 36 years since the year 1979. Come with them.
Good evening, viewers at home, and welcome to the show.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome.
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Idowu, I really appreciate you honoring our invitation on this show. And we want to talk about communication. Let me start with you, madam. How would you describe communication? What is communication to you?
Well, communication to me is the understanding between two parties or whoever you want to communicate with, and more so listening and body language and understanding one another.
And sir, how would you now define communication in marriage?
Well, communication actually is, transferring information both verbally and also in the form of body language. And in terms of marriage, verbal communication is very important, and also body language is very important. Those two are the factors that make up good marriage to me, because really, both of you should be able to understand each other, through communication.
You talk about body language.
Mm.
Can you expatiate more on body language in marriage?
In marriage, there are several, ways that you can use body language in marriage. The number one thing is, if you and your wife, step out, maybe into someone else's house, you use a lot of body language, you want to communicate, because you don't want people to think,
to know exactly what you're talking about.
That you're not comfortable in their homes, you don't want them to know what to say. So you use body language to let your wife know, what you're thinking about or what you think she should do. And also body language, in terms of, having, affairs, what a man and a woman married should be having in the house, you understand what I'm saying?
I'll leave that to madam. How would you describe how would you describe body language in romance, in marriage? If I understand what it's trying to say. What is the implication of body language in romance between couples?
It's very important, because that starts off the mood to get in action.
You heard that? The mode to get in action. If I may look into body language, like you said, out there when you don't want people to know what you're doing, what about in the situation of conflicts, misunderstanding? How far can body language go to as a communication mode in marriage?
Well, the only thing you can do about that is, just, shrug. Mostly I do shrug my shoulders. So, okay, and that means, hey, I don't want to keep arguing. Or I don't want to keep talking about this matter.
Or I'm not interested in what is going on. I'm displeased. I'm not happy.
And I'll say, okay, don't worry, sweetie. And that's it.
Does body language go further with you? Oh, my spouse is not happy. Do you get the communication?
Yeah, if you've been married this long, you should be able to get that.
Okay, can you just go ahead and give us an instance?
Body language, sometimes his look, the eye, the mouth expression, and the shoulder, if he's displeased, you could tell from the mouth and the look,
That is either pleased or displeased.
Pleased, yeah.
How would you feel as a woman when you discover your spouse is not in alignment with the kind of body language you've given him? I think it could be hurting, How do you feel?
Well, as far for me, I understand his body language and he understands mine. And once you want peace in your home, you have to do what will make the marriage work or what will make both parties happy. Sometimes when I talk to him and he's not listening, I just kind of forget it and I get him on a better note. He might be watching a program or something and your football game, how men are. You can't get their attention at that time. So you kind of, maybe when commercial is on or when he has to get up and get a drink, that's when you can catch him and talk better to him. So you need to be able to understand your spouse on different level of the way to communicate with them.
You're right. If you're just joining us, this is Marriage String and we're still on the program. The topic before us today is communication. Right now we're talking about body language in communication, how couples need to understand the body languages they both have in communicating both at home and out there. When we come back, we will be talking about verbal communication. Don't go away, stay tuned.
African Broadcasting Network. African Broadcasting Network. It's all about Africa. It's all about motherland. Celebrating rich cultural heritage. ABN, we bring the best. African. It's Africa. Broadcasting Network. Broadcasting Network. African Broadcasting Network. ABN, celebrating Africa's rich cultural heritage.
Welcome back. How would you describe verbal communication in marriage? We just talked about body language. So how would you explain to our viewers at home verbal?
Verbal is very, very important. You have to have understanding for one another. When you talk to your spouse, you have to make sure he's listening. Men, I can say for my husband, tends to tell you, yeah, and they still didn't get what you told them. So you need to kind of make sure, honey, do you understand what I just said? Did you hear me? Or you make him repeat sometimes because his mind is deviating from you. But just to make you keep quiet, you will say, yeah, I got you. And he didn't really get you. So it's very, very important that you make sure you understand one another and hear what he's telling you or what he wants you to do. Because he goes off and doesn't do what you ask him to do, that's where argument and thing comes in. But to avoid all that, the communication, the word must be expressed politely, gently, lovingly.
If you need to be listened to,
Exactly.
you communicate verbally, politely, and gently. Women out there, you heard what she just said. She's been married for 36 years, and I tell you, whatever she says, she's talking from experience. I need to know, sir, why is it that men, when you communicating with them verbally, because I understand where she's coming from. I mean, you don't want to respond. Is it that you ignoring, or you don't want to talk much, or it's just a thing in men?
Well, men are different, and you do different things at a different time. Most of the time, you don't like to be disturbed, especially, maybe when you're watching television, you're watching a program, or a football game, soccer game, and things must go on. So she needs you at that time. So she'll call you, and you can't get up, and so you just tell her, okay, sweetheart, okay, I'll be over there. Well, most of the time you don't say that. Most of the time you acknowledge that you're hard. Oh, okay. But as time goes on, when she complains, then you understand that, the best way to let her understand where you're coming from is tell her exactly the reason why you cannot get up. So, sweetheart, I'm watching this game now. Okay, give me 2 minutes. As soon as they go on commercial, I'll do it, whatever you ask me to do. And then she will say, okay, you said that, that cools everything down,
Right.
So you can communicate without malice, so that's the way we've been doing. Thank God.
Yeah, what are we doing in a situation whereby we have so many homes who have lost the key to communication? The couples cannot just communicate. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And when we get to a situation like that, the home is about to break.
Yeah.
You see that it's broken, they pretend. We have a lot of couples pretending because they got kids in the home. What can you do? What can you lecture people out there with your experience in a situation whereby the key to communication is lost in the home?
Marriage is a very what would I call it? It's a rough road. It's a rough road. It's a long journey of life, and also the first thing you have to do is you must know what you want in a marriage. You want happiness, fullness of joy, you want a nice family, and then you must know that for you to be able to achieve that, you cannot keep doing what you like to do or what you want. If you keep doing that, and your wife does not like it, or your wife does the same thing, you don't like it, if you cannot come together and have, good understanding, about the situation, then everything will be lost. But the most important thing is, having God in your life, making sure that you invite God, the Spirit of God, into your homes. When you talk about God all the time, you get your wife is involved, your family, your children are involved. Eventually, you will learn to take things, without getting hurt about whatever you or what you say. And then you must be truthful to each other.
Especially this love.
Yeah, and love is a very difficult thing to hold on to.
How do you mean?
Because really, people change, either physical or psychological, emotional. So if you can go with the tide, look at us. We've been married for 36 years.
It's a long way.
Yeah, it's a long time. And we're already grandparents, But we've been, it's not an easy road, a real easy path that we've taken. It's been a long way, So we invited God into our lives, and we always find joy, instead of depression, because a lot of the reason why most homes cannot, live peacefully right now is, there is depression inside the home, and where there is no God and depression lives in there, it's going to take your joy, your happiness, and eventually, hatred will be, in your lives, and you just break up.
And from hatred, there's going to be bitterness.
Exactly.
I got you.
So that is what is happening, and we live in a country where you cannot go to Oluwebi, or you cannot go to. We don't, in our culture, we don't usually use our counselors, So back home, you usually have elders that you talk to, and because they've been
get
through
the issue
something,
resolved.
Yeah, they know exactly, what you're going through, and they will tell you exactly what to do,
Yeah.
But over here, we've been here for a long time, and nobody to talk to. Everybody keeps their own thing.
And that's why almost everyone is nonchalant about what they do in their homes. Nobody's gonna talk to them or say it's saddening. You know what I mean?
That's true.
But while you were talking, you said something about love. That is a very difficult thing to hold on to.
Oh, yeah.
I'm coming back to that, Auntie. I know you very, very well. If not too much, I know you've been keeping the communication between you and your husband rolling, even as a grandmother. Can you tell our women out there the secret? The secret.
The secret is submission. For a woman to be married and stay married, you have to be submissive to your husband.
That sounds huge
Because
in this community.
man is the head of the household. That is what God has made them. It's hard to be submissive with the condition and the environment and everything that women do in this country. We're working, we're mothers, we're wives, we're housewives, we're driver, we're everything. Sometimes it is very hard, but by the Spirit of God, and that's why it's so important for you to have God as the third person in your marriage. It's got to be both of you and God in between. When you invite others into your marriage, your problem, you go running, telling friends and relatives and families, they're going to give you advice according to their own wisdom and knowledge. But if you take it to the Lord in prayer, He sure will bring you peace and joy. And that's what's been keeping my marriage going. That's what I've been doing the recipe I have.
36 years. 36 good years. Okay, let me go interior now. What happens in a situation whereby the other person is not ready to listen? I'm talking about the woman now. Because the Bible says, we're not trying to bring religion into this, but by what we know, the book we believe in, the Bible says the woman is the keeper of the home, and a wise woman keeps her home.
Exactly.
Where the man don't want to listen, where the woman has really done, because women, we have attitudes. We have our own nature. We might really not mean any harm, but we do things that really hit our men. In this situation, the man doesn't want to listen to no jack. He don't want to listen to nothing. How can she get the man to listen to her? How can she get to communicate? Because I know some couple, the man doesn't even eat at home. He only comes to sleep. And not in the bedroom with his wife. How can she get together? When he gets to that point, it's terrible.
It is.
How can she get to communicate before even getting to having come back to the bedroom? What's your advice?
Like I would say, and that's the only way I know, through prayers. You pray to the Lord. You wake up in the middle of the night or whatever time, in the morning, early in the morning, and commit your days to the Lord and tell the Lord, this is the situation I'm going through. This is what I'm passing through with my husband. You pray for that man. You don't want to change the man. You pray for God to take care of the man, to handle the man for you. There's a book out there that I used to read. I had and I've been reading, but lately, I read other books now.
On marriage, right?
On marriage of a praying wife.
The power of a praying wife.
The prayer of a praying wife. It really works. You got to work on praying for him and not changing him yourself. Because women, we tend to want to change our men to conform to our own way. But he is really created by God. And it is only for God to see whatever bad in him. Some are drug users, some are alcoholic, some are womanizers. There's nothing that the power of God cannot change. Just commit it all onto the hands of God, submit it to God, and be submissive and keep, working, doing whatever you can to make him comfortable. Don't argue with him no more when it comes to that stage that all he does is to come home and sleep. There's really, really trouble going on. And then get your prayer partners and let them pray with you. Your pastor, wherever you go, let them pray with you. And I believe that God can change any man. And that's the only way I know about that.
How
situation.
possible is it to avoid argument between couples?
It's not possible. But the thing is, you have to be wise the way you argue.
Right.
Sometimes when you see that your man is really, really out of it, lost it beyond, you calm down at that time. The two of you cannot be high up there. It's not going to work. There's going to be violence. One needs to submit for the other. If it takes for you to go into another room or get away from that situation, at that time, calm down until you get him to calm down. Some wives have good husbands that are not really, high up there, too hot on hyper and wherever. And some women have that, that have a hyper. You have to have understanding. That is why communication, understanding, love, endurance, all of this comes into marriage. Marriage is not an easy place. It's a different institution on its own, that there's no amount of sitting down and teaching you and telling you what to do. Your situation is going to be different day in, day out, So the wisdom of God, the love you have for each other, and the power of prayer helps your marriage, helps your home.
Yeah, from what I've learned from what she has just said now, we should try as much as possible to avoid unnecessary argument, because it can warrant more than what we expected.
Yes.
And I also think, even if you think your spouse is even lying to you, when it gets to the point of argument, you believe him for that point in time. Am I right?
That's right.
I'm right. Believe him for that time. Even if it's your wife, believe her for that moment, for that period in time, and see how far that can work in your home. We'll take another break now. We'll be back shortly.
Ojo ìfẹ́ rọ̀lé mi o, ara mi wà lọ́nà. Ojo ìfẹ́ rọ̀lé mi o, ara mi wà lọ́nà. It was a silent night. Find someone to love. Maybe someday I will find my own.
I want to believe you have learned so far so good a lot from Mr. and Mrs. Idowu. I have learned from them. But I want to revisit one of the points Mr. Idowu talked about. He said, love is a very difficult thing to hold on to. And that sounds huge to me. And I want him to expatiate more on that. I believe you want him to expatiate more too. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, well, love is not something to be taken for granted in the first place. And, before you start having feelings for each other, there must be something that the man has seen in the woman and the woman has seen in the man. And the reason why I said, love is a very difficult thing to hold on to is because, we humans, we tend to change, we change, psychologically, we change physically, we change, in the way we interact with our lovers. And eventually, if you don't do the right thing, love can slip away without you even knowing it, And a lot of factors can make love to slip away, Number one, physical, psychological. I mean, the way you, is just follow, the word of God. You stay away from the devil, and that's what we've been doing. James 4:7 says, you have to submit yourself, to God, and you resist the devil, and the devil will flee from you. So if you don't resist the devil, because the devil is always present in a marriage, the devil wants to take your joy. The devil doesn't like anywhere there's happiness, So, whether you're a Christian or a Muslim, you have to really embrace God. You must invite God into your house, and you must think before you say things to your lover. You must always try to say good things. You don't start telling people outside, your affairs. Now, that is one thing that we never did. We never got our parents, as young couples. Even up to now, we don't talk to our parents about, what is happening in the marriage. Oh, they never even, ask us. So, also, and the same thing we told our children, and it's working pretty good. You know, so it keeps our marriage intact, and we always glorify God.
If you have enough understanding between yourself
Between
and
each other,
communication, you can always have your issues and get it to resolve
Exactly, by
between
ourselves.
yourselves
Yeah.
rather than saying it out there.
Exactly.
Because obviously they're going to compound the situation.
Oh
for you.
yeah.
They will. What they're not going through out there,
Mm.
they're going to tell you, it's not like that in my marriage. And it's
Exactly.
not true. They're going to
Yeah.
compound the situation.
That's one of the biggest factors, you know, that really affect people,
Marriages.
you know, in this country.
And I know men don't talk much. Women out there.
Women, yeah.
We need,
They
right?
talk at their jobs.
We need the
they
caution.
talk
Running
with
their
friends,
mouths.
We're running our
and
mouth.
those people will not make things easy, you know. And also, most of our women, you know, like to emulate, women in this country. And we're talking about, you know, different races, different nationalities, you know,
Culture.
different cultures, tradition. And if you don't believe that your tradition is different from your friend's tradition, and you start telling your friend what your husband have been doing, and it's something very strange to your friend, because your friend is from another race, another tradition and culture. How can someone like that give you an advice? That's quite impossible. So the only way you can deal with the situation is, number one, you have to, you know, consult your husband or your wife, let him or her know how you feel, and then, you know, you pray on it and you resolve it.
After all, you're both involved in it.
Exactly.
I suppose.
You know, prayers can do a whole lot in a marriage. You know.
I'm looking at a scenario whereby communication is not limited to where you have to communicate generally in the house, maybe verbally or like body language you talk about. Don't you think there should be a time set aside, maybe just both of you in the bedroom, even when romance is not involved? Both of you just go out, you just want to share some things with each other, you want to talk about something, you don't even know what you want to talk about, but you want to be together in building communication the more. What do you think, ma'am?
It is a good idea, because that keeps the spice going on in the marriage.
The curry and the pepper.
You need to spike it up, because it becomes boring and boredom. You want to come home and you're seeing the same face, the same routine, the same everything daily. And you know, women, we like, you know, being told how pretty you look. Men, especially African men, Nigerian men, they don't have that in them. You need to learn to be appreciative of your wife. Your wife come home with a new hairdo. Oh, you need to be able to let her know. Oh, you look pretty, honey. That's so nice on you. You know, it spikes the woman
But
up.
they say it out there when they get on their job.
They will go out and tell other women, but to come home and tell their wives,
Not me.
my husband learned to do that. He does that now.
Oh,
At
kudos
first,
to you, sir.
yes. At first, he didn't know.
That makes
Women,
him
we love
stand
to be pampered. We love to be pampered. We love to be cared for. We love to be told, repeatedly, I love you. You, my wife. You pretty. You this. You that. That keeps a woman happy in a marriage, and our men need to learn to do that.
What about
Even-
the men too? You like to be told that you are handsome.
Oh, our man loves to be cared for.
Well,
Is that true?
Well, no, for me personally, not really, because
You know you are loved.
Yeah, because my wife loves me.
Good.
And I love myself. Number one, so I love the mirror. Look at the mirror.
I love myself too.
Yeah, so but it's a plus if your wife can tell you all the time that you look handsome, and you just don't take it. Don't grab it so much and let it get in your head. And
That's just a man's stuff. Women, we love it, so
don't
do
let
it.
Get in your head, so that you don't go out there and the feeling that a woman, looks at you and it's all because you're handsome, and she wants you, and that's how you get in trouble. So I focus mostly, on, my wife's health, the beauty, and that keeps me happy a whole lot. when I see my wife, blossoming all the time and still looking youthful, she's at her age, most of my daughter's friends, a lot of times they don't believe.
Your mama looks like your
looks
aunt.
like. We just got back. We went for a cruise for 5 days.
What's the secret? He's been giving you a peaceful mind, I guess. What's the secret?
The secret is that I have God in my life, and He's blessed me with my husband.
And she's happy.
It's very, very important when you are a teenager as a woman, because men are out there, they can go to so many women. As a teenager, I prayed to God that I need God to give me my husband early in my life and on time. And the Lord answered my prayer. So it is not too late for you to pray. Put everything in prayers to God. That's your own man. You don't want to jump from boyfriend to boyfriend. Likewise for a man too. It's not good to be jumping from women to women. You don't know what you are getting and attracting from each individual. Everybody brings stuff in their generation with them. So it is a good thing to really be focused in life, focus in what you want, ask the Lord in prayer, and He will do it to you. He will grant you the desires of your heart. He's a faithful Father. I know it's sounding more religious, but that's the way of my life.
Would you say, and we do appreciate your sincerity on, would you say it's, like you said, you prayed ahead of it, it's a bedrock to a successful marriage too? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Praying ahead of it, God.
Very much so, very much so. It is the number one important thing in life for you. No matter what it is you want to do in life, put it in prayers before the Lord. You want to start a business, you want to go to school, you want to get a degree. Sometimes it's what we want might not be God's desire for us. Put it in prayers to God. Is this path the way I'm taking, the right way that you have desired for me, or you have in stock for me? And the Lord will make it. If it's going to work for you, you know it's the way of the Lord for you. If it's not working for you, then you know it's not meant for you. We cannot keep on, somebody is doing this thing, I want to do it too, I got to do it too. And it might not be your part, it might not be your way. Yeah. But if you put it in prayer to the Lord, He will direct your part.
Marriage is God's ordinance. There is no way we can talk about it without routing it back to God, because He ordained it. Whether you want to use the Bible, you want to use the Quran, or whatever, we believe in what we believe, and we believe God ordained it. And God hates separation. God hates divorce. The Bible is there. So that's why we're trying to use this program to revitalize broken homes, bring back the broken ones, prevent the about to break from breaking away. Because the children,
yes,
they suffer more. It
do.
affects their future, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, and those who have been through the road, they know what we're talking about. And the rate at which is going in the society we are in today is too huge. And that's why we're trying to prevent by calling those who are really, really experienced, grandmamas, grandpapas, and that has longer years, to give us lectures. I'm learning myself, like I told you earlier on. And I want to believe all you're getting from here, you're not going to put it in the trash. Keep your home. Make sure it doesn't break away. We'll be back after a short break.
Ojo ìfẹ́ rọ̀lé mi o, ara mi wà lọ́nà. Ojo ìfẹ́ rọ̀lé mi o, ara mi wà lọ́nà. It was a silent night. Find someone to love. Maybe someday I will find my own. The feeling is so strong.
African Broadcasting Network. African Broadcasting Network. It's all about Africa. It's all about motherland. Celebrating rich cultural heritage. ABN, we bring the best. African celebrating Africa's rich cultural heritage.
Yeah, we get into the concluding part of the program, and like you know, we always take the couples game. Let's see what we have here. You're gonna take a question from here. Come on, take one. Take the question. Yeah. I'm gonna open this question, and she's gonna put, like we usually do, she's gonna put her answer on the paper while Mr. Idowu answers aloud. And the couples game question I have before me here is directed to Mr. Idowu. And the question says, what's your spouse's dislike? Before you answer, she's going to put her answer in writing and she's going to cover it up. Don't look, don't cheat. Look on the camera. No cheating. Okay, you're gonna cover it to your chest. She has an answer right here. The question again is, what's your spouse's dislike? She picked the question, and Mr. Idowu is gonna answer aloud while she has her answer on the paper. What's your answer, sir? What's your spouse's dislike? Say it out on this.
Well, when it comes to me, my wife does not dislike many things about me. But the only thing that, she had been, really against from the very beginning is, our men are a lot of times, we forget to flush the toilet, nasty toilet, and she's so particular about the toilet. Yeah.
Can you show our viewers at home what your answer is? And this question is said for you to know how well you know your spouse. This has convinced me enough that for real, they've not just been married for 36 years, but they have a good communication bond. A good communication bond. I want to thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Goke and Mokwe, for coming on the show, and we're giving you an appreciation of this token of gift. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. And to our viewers at home, we want to say bye-bye for now. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Kòkòrò ìfẹ́ mi níbo ló wà o, ara mi wà lọ́nà kò wálé, olólùfẹ́ fìfẹ́rẹ́ ilé ayé mi padà o, loneliness has been me all the day, òjò ìfẹ́ rọ̀ lé mi o, ara mi wà lọ́nà, òjò ìfẹ́. Rolling me oh, ara mi wà lọ́nà. It was a silent night. Find someone to love. Maybe someday.